Alright, we're going to be doing, like I said, we're going back into the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We're going to do we're gonna start the final case, and I'm not sure how long the final case is gonna take, but we will probably be finishing it this weekend. Oh great, my taskbars. No, this isn't what I... Hold on. Let's try closing the game and reopening it and seeing if that fixes this taskbar stupidity. If not, then I'm gonna have to do this the hard way, and... Okay. Control-Alt-Delete. Task Manager. Click into here. Yeah, it's still... Where is... It should be up here somewhere. Is this not in alphabetical order? I thought it was. I guess not. Okay, hold on. Let me close this again. Where is... Here we are. Windows Explorer. Restart. Piece of garbage. That hopefully fixed the problem. Last time I did that, it completely borked my taskbar for a couple of things. Okay. I'm not the only one. I'm sure I'm not the only one that saw that window pop up. If this doesn't work, then I'll just have to reboot my PC, I guess. Okay, it worked. Thank goodness. Why is this not letting me open my... There we go. Alright. We are beginning Chapter 5, or Episode 5, rather. This is the final episode, and it's been about a week since we last played. Also, I forgot to mention that I'm actually starting late. I had to use the restroom and was finishing eating, so...
It's coming! Sholmes's cry pierced through the thick wall of fog around us. Wisps of vapor flowed over the pistol as I cocked it, and I waited, breathlessly, in the stillness. The silence lasted for what seemed an eternity, until, at last, it appeared. From the shadows of the cloud, an enormous beast sprang out upon us. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames. Its rumbling pant and hideous howl, so terrified was I that I began to tremble with fear. Look well, Wilson, Sholmes declared, gazing upon the mystical beast. For this is the diabolical hound of the Baskervilles.
I've already forgotten the name of this chapter. Our first 2 months in London passed by in a flash. In that disconcerting courtroom experience we were first thrown into on the day we arrived in the country, and in Soseki-san's terrible ordeal that had followed closely behind, we had emerged victorious. However, there then came an abrupt end to our opportunities to appear in court, which is hardly surprising, of course, since I was nothing more than an amateur, an unknown student of law from a faraway land who bested the best prosecuting attorney in Britain twice in a row, back to back. Like, what? So life in our little office is very quiet. That is, until it was shattered one day by that fateful telegram. 15th April, 9:13 a.m. Naruhodo's legal consultancy. I wasn't expecting that morning. I was woken by the unreserved knocking on the door by the telegram boy. But after he'd gone, Susato-san's behavior became very obviously strange. Susato-san? Yes? Is it time to leave for court already? Let me see, what case is it today? I don't think I'm scheduled to defend anyone at this moment, am I? Oh, no, of course not. How silly of me. I think Iris said she would make us breakfast this morning. So shall we go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite? Yes! Iris makes the most delicious breakfast and food. She does, doesn't she? And once our bellies are full, we can leave for court in fighting fit form. Let me see, what case is it today? Here we go again. Telegram. So, what about it? The telegram that was delivered this morning, I mean... Oh, a telegram? I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, but you're not going to get away with that. Well, I didn't think I would. Actually, don't give it a moment's thought. It's nothing interesting. Boring, in fact. It was just a boring old telegram. That's 3 times now that she's tried and failed to convince me it was nothing. I promise that I'll tell you about it at some point. Alright, I understand. I suppose Soseki-san will have arrived back in Japan by now, won't he? Yes, I should think so. He left immediately after that terrible ordeal. Which would mean that he would have completed the voyage already. Or be just a few days away. A fortnight ago, we had that very long telegram from him. Do you remember? Complaining of seasickness? But by and large, it seems the voyage has been going well. Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? I was just wondering, what would have become of Soseki had he stayed in London, that's all. You mean, in regards to Lord Van Zeeks, the Reaper? Yes, I can't help but wondering if seasickness would have paled in significance in that case, into insignificance in that case. What's it they say? No one who stands in the dock can be saved from the Reaper, right? That's the way that nightmare's trial ended on the very day we arrived in London. Yeah, Madness Gilded apparently was burned alive inside that cart thing. Even 2 months on, the cause of that dreadful fire is still a mystery. Yes, but at least Sasaki-san is safely out of the country now. Presumably that means that the curse of the Reaper can only take effect within the confines of the city of London, perhaps? Even if that's the case, it's little comfort. I have a terrible sense of foreboding. If the legend of the Reaper is to be believed, maybe he wields the sword of justice himself. Think of it, I wonder what he's been up to these past 2 months. Surely not wielding that sword against more acquitted defendants. No, I don't think so. Apparently, Lord Van Ziegler has appeared in court once since our last encounter. Oh? Yes, Sasaki-san's trial. He's withdrawn from the judicial service again, it seems. Really? Just like before, he wasn't seen in court at all for several years. So it's just been me who's had to face him in his recent spate of trials, then? Ugh, just my luck. I wonder if luck doesn't come into it. Sorry, what was that? Oh, nothing. Never mind. Yeah, the government might be putting the Reaper up to it, basically. Wanted to see how the lawyer from Japan fares in British court against their best prosecutor. That would make sense. Spring at last and the weather is warmer now. I love the smell of the fire and steam rising from the kettle. Oh, would you like some tea, Naruto-san? Thank you, Susato, but I'm all worried for now. Green tea Susato-san makes me from time to time. Iris' unique herbal infusions. This place is paradise for a true tea lover. Green tea is such a wonderful accompaniment to British tea cakes, don't you think? Well, I've been here in London for about 2 months. My desk is starting to look a little messy already. You could tidy up once in a while. Susato-san, I always say, making a mess is a small sacrifice to pay for being able to further your studies. And time spent tidying up is time you can't devote to the same cause. And time spent on ridiculous arguments is time that could be better spent on simple housework. She wins, but I'm supposed to be the lawyer here. There's, I think it's this thingy right here. Ah, the Daruma doll I brought with me from home. Similar to when I colored in. Except the color of the other I once I won my first court case here in Britain, but you have won, haven't you? Twice, in fact. As I feel as though I'm still lacking as a lawyer. I tell you what, why don't you color the other eye and let's see if I'm a proper, fully fledged lawyer. If you insist. Shovel? That spade has been here since you started renting the place. Oh, that's not a spade, Naruto-san. It's a shovel. Yeah, so the difference between a spade and a shovel, spades have a flat... the head of a spade is flat, whereas shovels are pointed. No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade. No, it's a shovel because it's pointed so that it can dig into the ground. No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's for shovel. Oh, great. It's the latter argument, but it's something else. I don't want to dig a hole for myself, so let's leave it. They have one of those in every game. So this is the tea set Susato-san brought with her from Japan. So she hasn't noticed me slipping sugar and milk into my cup when she makes it. It's just so bitter. Tea's a drink to be enjoyed, Naruhodo-san. You really don't have to force yourself to drink it, you know. I don't like to see you screw up your face, so... I'm certain bitter tea is an acquired taste because bitter coffee is also an acquired taste. Ah, it's supposed to be the telegram. Let's see. Ugh! I didn't actually mean to read this. Just so we're clear, I'm just examining everything. No, you mustn't look at that. Not under any circumstances. Alright, I won't. I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san, but you can be very mischievous at times. Then put the telegram away if you don't want people looking at it. I mean, does she have her own space to put stuff in? It kind of feels like we share this office and also live in it. We're rather lucky to find the old aquarium left behind here. The prawns put in there are doing rather well, and the anemones too. It's a wonderful invention, isn't it? The sea behind glass inside your room? Another example of Great Britain's greatness. Well, to clean it out and change the water isn't so great, though, is it? Yeah, I've never seen inside your room there, Susato-san. I've never even peeked inside. I should think so, too! A young maiden's private chamber is a place of bittersweet secrets, you know. Whatever you say, young maiden. Okay, so she does have her own room right there. Alright, well, now they want us to go... Are you ready? Let's go downstairs for breakfast. Sure. I think we've examined everything. 15th April, Shoulden's Suite. Morning, Susie. Good morning, Iris. Iris. What is it, Bruno? What is that terrible noise? It sounds like a cat being strangled. He's playing a violin, but playing it a little too firmly, I guess. He needs to, like, rosin the bow. Ah, yes, you noticed that, did you? Oh, yes, you noticed that, did you? Oh, yes, you in the best form this morning, it seems. Hello. Hello, Mr. Shoals. Good morning. A good morning to die, perhaps. Something happened, Mr. Shoals? You look miserable in the way you were playing the violin before. My analytical mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead. Damn this blanked? I'm not sure. Existence. That's all it is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence. I'm afraid I don't understand. Well, Iris, isn't it time we ate? Some dry toast and insipid coffee for me, if it's not too much trouble. Are they having trouble paying bills? Hey, the cat from... It's, look, it's Wagahai. Good morning, boy. The cat from the previous use. There must be some sort of tiny door for cats to use. But how did it get there? Well then, everyone, time for breakfast. Oh, wonderful. Let me help you, Iris. It would indeed be a fine day to die. I need something that's different. Something's missing from Mr. Sholmes' desk. Oh, the machine. There's a... I did not remember that there was a machine on the desk. Mr. Sholmes, I don't like to pry, but... your desk looks rather empty today. Well done, Miss Sato. Your observational skills do you credit. Oh no, Mr. Sholmes. They pale in insignificance when compared to yours. You'd struggle not to notice, wouldn't you? You mean Hurley's great analytoscope? That's at Windy Bank's, no. Sorry? It's at a Windy Bank? Yeah, Windy Banks is the pawnbroker. Pawn? What? You mean you pawned that enormous machine of yours? It has some considerable value, you see, quite undeservingly. But isn't it a very important machine for your work? I do wish you had consulted us if your situation had become so desperate. I would have gladly passed what little income I have to you. Dear madam, things are far from desperate. But the pawnbroker has your wonderful machine. How could it be anything but desperate? Use of a pawnbroker is quite ordinary here in London, I assure you. It is? It doesn't sound ordinary at all. It would seem that neither of you fully understand how pawnbroking works. Oh, let's understand exactly? What did you mean when you said we didn't fully understand how pawnbroking works? To the people of London, pawnbrokers are akin to banks. Banks? On Mondays, merchants relinquish their finest jackets and trappings to their pawnbrokery of choice, broker of choice. With the money they receive in return, they are able to trade happily through the week. And then on Saturdays they go recover their things. Using the money they earned. I had no idea. This has been a fascinating lesson for us. Everyone does it, you see. Especially people in London. And should they have money to spare, they would purchase another fine jacket. Not to wear, obviously, but to pawn should the need arise. Oh, how ingenious. So whenever we have something that's getting in the way, we leave it at Windy Banks, you see? A pawnbrokery can be thought of as an extremely secure vault. I would have thought that pawnbrokers are different here in Great Britain. Of course, you have to watch Hurley with it. Since he pawns things he really shouldn't. Don't you, Hurley? What does it matter? The world is dead to me now. You seem to be very unhappy this morning, Mr. Sholmes. What's happened? It used to be the case that in my hands, this violin sung like the dawn chorus. Its melodic tones would make flowers bloom. It would? But now, the muses are unamused with me. The goddesses of music have thrown me over.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes?
For hours I have bowed. I don't know if that's bowed or bowed. I think it's bowed. I have bowed for days even through the night I have even to no avail. That sound, my tone is lost. That brilliant, clear, unwavering tone, gone forever. No more recitals of unbridled emotion.
You haven't been practicing much lately, have you, Early?
Don't worry, I'm sure it'll come back to you in time. Heed my words, Mr. Naruto. The goddesses of the arts are fickle. One day they bestow genius on a man, the next they unmercifully withdraw it. Oh dear. Oh, why is this happening to me? As I take the turn I have the violin from me, what is left for pity's sake? What is left? Deduction perhaps? Is that what you're known for?
Oh yeah, but that's his job, not his passion, maybe.
Someone's desk. It's completely clear. Is there enormous genius on it?
We can never hope to understand what goes on in the great detective's mind, Mr. Naruto. Why, next time we're invited, we may find he's vacated the entire suite.
That's scarily plausible, actually.
Oh yes, letters V and R inscribed on the wall in bullet holes.
Is that the initials of the queen or something?
It's so delightful to see in the flesh, having read about it in the stories. It was so inspiring. I fired 100 arrows into my own wall at home to make the character, or for Susato, you know.
Super. But perhaps there are some things the great detective does that you don't need to copy. There's all sorts on these shelves. Chemistry apparatus, and books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before.
That's why he took so hard.
I can't help feeling that the whole lot is going to topple at any moment.
Oh, it's such a charming and tidy collection of paraphernalia, isn't it?
It just looks messy to me, like my task.
But you, Mr. Naruto, must learn to tidy up after yourself.
No favoritism there, then. Fire's burning comfortably in the grate again today. It's a very different feeling to Japanese hibachi somehow.
Oh, look at that photographic print of a lady displayed on the mantelpiece. Could it be? Yes, it must be. It's the woman. Oh, how exciting.
I'm having issues with a fingernail.
Is this supposed to mean something to me?
Well, it looks like that huge metal chest is being used at the table for tea and coffee. seems very sturdy with an equally sturdy lock. Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't go around opening things. I always have to keep an eye on you, don't I? You're very mischievous. How did you come to that conclusion? These are all mementos of Mr. Schultz's past cases, I think. Even involved in my case. I wonder if the beef steak from La Carnival will be on display here. A mystery shoe, a curious hammer, some mysterious dancing men, a bust of Napoleon? Hammer, Napoleon, I don't see the dancing men.
Oh, what an entrancing collection!
It looks like an untidy assortment of junk to me, rather like what's on my own shelves. I mean, they're sentimental, dude. What do you mean?
Well, you really ought to learn to keep your things in order, Mr. Naruhodo.
No, no favoritism there at all. No, no favoritism there at all. It was supposed to be a sarcastic. What? Okay, well, let's start with the typewriter. Come to think of it, I haven't seen Iris doing much writing recently. There's a paper already set up in the typewriter. Looks as if she's about to start.
That reminds me, when I mentioned that Iris is in the process of writing a full-fledged novel, Mr. Natsume was most impressed.
Ah yes, Mr. Natsume.
That's what I'll be doing too. That's what I'll be doing too once I'm back in Japan, he said through tightly clenched fists and teeth.
Yeah, so Seki, his last name is Natsume, so... Iris's beautiful tea set is there on the table as usual. A cup of one of their special herbal blends always helps me relax when I'm feeling the strain.
The English pastime of tea has many similarities with our own tea ceremony customs, don't you think? It's the idea of hospitality behind it. That's the essence of tea.
Charming little white shelf and full of charming little bottles too. The contents of them aren't quite so charming.
Science is the future, Mr. Naruhodo. You can't deny it. I'm saving my money so I can buy some chemistry apparatus as well.
Law, chemistry, takedown throws, what diverse skills you boast, Miss Susato.
As useful as they are, I'm not sure that my throwing skills are worthy of inclusion in that list.
Math? This is where our notes down ideas, isn't it? Let's see, what did it say today? Ah, the Boscombe Valley Mystery. That's not what it says at all. That is V equals sigma P something in the exponential slot times V with a subscripted thing. And then there's also V, and I don't know if that's and I don't know if that's a division line. It shouldn't be. It's probably just a separation line. V equals V with a subscript minus sigma. And then there's also, like, lines. Like, graphed lines.
Oh, how intriguing! It must be the title of Iris's latest work. Oh my! I wonder what... Wait, is that me? Is that... realistic? No, it wasn't. Oh my, I wonder what a fantastic tale awaits us. Such a song is an angel, but that's just dreaming of the most unsavory crime you can imagine.
Look at high. So assuming his cat's just settled into his new home then.
Yes, and I've become very attached to little Waggy.
It would appear his previous owner is completely forgotten to him. Cats are unfeeling creatures. Their muses appears the hearts of the muses. I know the cat just recognizes that, hey, these are also people that are nice to me and feed me, and I can trust them.
Silly had no intention of taking Maggie back to Japan. I wonder why he kept him in the first place.
I expect he would have taken him if he could. But pets are strictly forbidden aboard steamships in our experience.
And for good reason. Terrible things can happen if the rules of passage are not obeyed. Yeah, I don't mind because Wacky is adorable.
Yes, he really is. Oh yeah, what about the door? I don't remember seeing that tiny thing in the main door before. Where did that go?
Oh, you noticed? You are observant, Uno. Look, I use this. It's my latest invention.
What is that?
I call it the cat flapper mat. Gosh, a machine for making doors just for cats? That's right, you can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Wacky and Seggins. I can do it in any door at all, no matter what it's made of. It's very powerful, you see.
Wouldn't it have just been quicker to make the cat flap rather than making it a machine to make the cat flap?
Well, yes, maybe, but now I can make cat flaps anywhere I like. Oh, I think it's wonderful. You must make one for us in the door of our office upstairs, Iris.
She really knows how to come up with unconventional inventions, this girl.
Oh, what was that?
What? What was that?
Oh no! You guys tangled up in your violin! I think he's it's a toy!
No, what's he doing to it?
Oh dear, Mr. Schultz's precious violin!
Why should I care? I shouldn't be surprised. If the cat is more accomplished musician than I now.
Mr. Schultz really is in poor spirits, isn't he? Well, anyway, I'll put it back where it is. Shall I, Harley?
Out of the cat's reach if possible. Maybe you should assess the damage. Do I converse? Examine? I don't know what to do now. Oh, the violin. So this is the violin, is it? It's a Stradivarius, one of the finest violins in the world, made by the renowned Italian luthier Antonio Stradivari. Oh, I see. It doesn't really look like anything special to me. So, those violins are... yeah, those violins... like, basically... Stradivari and Stradivarius violins are like the gold standard of violins. I happened upon it covered in dust, languishing in a pawn shop down a nondescript back alley. The broker had no idea of its value, so I was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings. How honorable of you. And until today, it has been my faithful companion in every great Paganini-inspired performance I have made. Paganini? Probably Paganini. I ask you, is there any reason to live in a world devoid of music? To tolerate this blank shit existence? No. There is none.
Mr. Sholmes?
What, dear madam, what? My thoughts are preoccupied with Fence. Years of release from this dull routine.
Well, it's about the violin. It looks very different to normal, don't you think?
What do you mean, Mr. Sato? Did someone steal his violin and...
Oh, Susie's right! Yes, the tone of wood is completely different! And that's not all. I'm sure there was no crack here before. Wait, it's not even the right size, is it?
What's this?
I'm terribly sorry to have to tell you this, Mr. Sholmes, but that instrument isn't a violin at all.
What? Is it a cello?
I believe it's an entirely different instrument called a viola. Oh, a viola.
What?
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, are you alright?
You're right. You are quite right. This isn't my faithful Stradivarius. So what, pray, is this stringed flotsam? Hey, don't insult the violin. Seriously, patch up that, or the viola, patch up that crack, restring it, tune it. It'll be good still. Not your faithful performing partner then.
Ah, I see what must have happened.
You do, Iris?
This is just a simple mix-up.
Sounds like Iris might be able to tell us exactly what happened if we ask her. So back to Iris! This is so long. What do you mean by a mix-up, Iris?
You see, this violin... Sorry, this viola, I mean... was at Windybanks till last week. At the pawnbrokers?
Not Mr. Sholmes' his beloved musical partner. Huh? There's a proverb from the East with which you are no doubt familiar, my dear fellows. Always let a beloved child travel.
Yes, indeed.
So you sent your beloved violin to the pawnbrokers in the hope that it would experience personal growth.
Oh, what a wonderful idea!
And then the pawnbroker gave him back a viola instead of his Stradivari. A cheap, not viola, and then the Stradivarius. Last week I pawned my great analytoscope in order to release my precious instrument. but it would appear that Mr. Winden mistakenly furnished me with this tawdry fiddle instead. My ears cannot be deceived by the hollow timbre of this piece of timber. No, but your every sense was deceived by the fact that it just had strings. Pshaw! A fine state of affairs this is. And why I always say, Mr. Naruhodo, never trust a pawnbroker. They will try to fiddle you every time.
But earlier you told us that you could think of a pawnbroker as an extremely secure vault.
Come, Mr. Naruhodo, dilly-dallying will get you nowhere. Sorry. Crunching your toast with that fake aspect, frosting your coffee so obtusely. Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct, considering the urgency with which we are faced? Hey, look, you're the one that didn't pay attention to whether or not you returned your own instrument. That's not on me. You're the one that has the urgent need to go back to the pawnbroker and get the correct thing.
We must visit Mr. Windibank's broker yet. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Scholes?
Precisely, Mr. Sato. Without a moment's delay.
But I haven't finished my bacon and eggs.
I mean, I'm not a fan of eggs myself, but bacon, I totally get that. My dear fellow, surely you do not still intend. Also, just to clarify, the reason I don't like eggs is because they always taste, like, no matter how much I season them up, they always taste bland. I don't know what it is. I use bacon, I've tried bacon fat, pepper, both. It's just, it's just whenever I eat them, they always taste bland. And I'm like, and I don't like bland food. Surely you don't mean to crunch your bacon with an increasingly vacant aspect to fresh your egg ever more obtusely. Alright, say no more. Let's go then.
Don't worry, Mr. Winner. I'd be happy to heat it up for you again later.
Oh, thank you, Iris. What happens? I am rather curious to see what a British pawnbroker's looks like. New location has been added. Baker Street as well as Windibank's Pawnbrokery. I guess we'll just go straight back to Baker Street. All the different things in the window of the shop.
Ah, that's Windibank's, the pawnbrokery.
It's much smarter than a pawnbroker in Japan, doesn't it?
Yes, you're right. I find pawn shops at home rather approachable, personally.
It reminds me of tearfully partying with my favorite mountain man. I felt so miserable.
What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, Mr. Naruhodo.
I found some cool stuff at pawn shops. And usually people that will pawn stuff that they don't really need or that doesn't have like sentimental value and can be readily replaced. It's already been 2 months since we started taking lodgings here above Mr. Scholl's office. I still can't quite believe it. I never expected things would turn out like this.
Oh, I know! To actually be sharing accommodation with the world's greatest detective. If I ever find myself in a court of law now, I will have not one regret.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'd be happy to defend you, of course. Well, can we examine the clothes? No, we can't examine the clothes. Alright, well, into the shop, I guess. Yeah, see, like, look at this horse, right? This statue, right here, that's neat. Also, there's all kinds of clocks on the wall here. Ooh, this looks interesting. Probably some kind of, like, music bots. some hats, trophies, birdcage. Anyway, 15th April, Windibank's Pawnbrokery. So this is a British pawnbrokery. Scale. Picture of a dog. The picture of the dog, I'm sure, isn't for sale.
Oh my, there are all sorts of tools and contraptions in here that I've never laid eyes on before.
Ah, Susato-san, that spark of wonder in your eyes. You can't wait to see our other selves, can you? This thing looks really interesting. I get the impression you enjoy places like this.
Oh yes, I don't know why, but it seems there's a lot of things I don't understand is a real thrill for me.
My dear fellows, let us not forget why we are here.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes!
We're calling on matters of business, not pleasure. Mr. Sholmes means business too, judging from the spark of fury in his eyes. Ah, Mr. Sholmes, sir. Welcome back. Did you hear that brazen welcome? Well, yes, we are potential customers after all. We are disgruntled customers, Mr. Naruhodo. It's time to inform Mr. Windibank of our come, the fight is afoot. Let's look around first before we, anger this guy. What's this thing? What are you doing, my dear fellows? We are not here to browse for interesting curios. We have come to teach this broker a lesson.
Oh, but there are just so many fascinating items.
This is so we'll have to talk to Mr. Windibank first before you can explore in here, Mr. Susato. Alright, fine. I wonder, can I ask you something? Ah, a gentleman from the East, I see. Perhaps such a sequel soon. Suppose I could offer you a sixpence for it? Without blushing to offend, the tone is somewhat dull. Sorry? Aha, but your splendid attire, madam. 5 guineas, no less. The colours are exquisite, the design exotic. Eastern artistry at its finest, may I say.
Oh my, 5 guineas, you say?
He's referring to the clothes you're wearing right now, Susato.
How interesting.
Why do I feel as though I've suffered some sort of defeat here? Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. I heard it said that pawnbrokers are used rather like banks here in London. Yes, sir, indeed. Many of my customers utilize the establishment as you describe. I appraise their items, offer them a proportionate loan, and 2 months of secure stowage. If in that time they pay the original sum to me plus the agreed interest, the items are happily returned.
What happens if they don't pay you the money?
That's when they forfeit the item that they gave the money for. And the items are offered for sale in my shop, as you can see on the shelves behind me.
So you never sell items before the 2 months has passed then?
That's right, madam, that's right. Which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulders. Should a customer's precious belongings be lost, the only recommend is for me to end it all. The very idea, Mr. Windibank, is an absurdity. One should never talk of one's demise so casually. As the man was telling us it was all a good day to die only this morning. And let us not forget that I have already helped you take measures to ensure such tragedy never occurs. Oh, what sort of measures? I engineered a simple device which Mr. Windibank has installed in his shop. I call it the red-handed recorder. Is that not so, Mr. Windibank? What's that deep sigh about? What on earth is a red-handed recorder? Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There too, just below the ceiling.
I can see what appears to be a camera attached to some sort of timing device.
I'm trying to see, because I don't see this any... Maybe I'm blind? But I don't see this anywhere. Very astute. It is indeed a camera furnished with some 100 pieces of celluloid film, and every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop. Here, I have an example I can show you. Ah, yes, a print from the camera set to record the activity at the shop counter. I developed a special type of film so sensitive it produces a crystal clear image even in darkness. Really? That's extraordinary.
Yes, you can clearly see the counter and the door behind it. Look!
So you see, were someone to enter the premises with ill intent, his identity would be summarily exposed.
But did you not say that the photographic prints were taken at 30-minute intervals?
Indeed, as you say, my dear madam.
Then what if the incident were to occur in between times?
One could only say. That would be a cruel twist of fate. I must confess, your devices have been giving me some cause for distress lately. I beg your pardon, Mr. Winterbank. Surely they are anything but distressing. Reassuring is the word. It's the cost of the film, sir. The film, sir. You must register place not one, but 2 cameras in my shop, after all. Which means I must pay for nigh on 100 utterly useless prints every single day. The cost of the film would bring me before I'm very much older. But couldn't you just couldn't you just angle one at the door? Nevertheless, a small price to pay to ensure the safety of my preferred pawnbroker, you know. My dear fellows, we have heard on an age where safety and security come at a price. Oh, heaven help us. Anyway, about the violin. Naturally, you will recall this, which I retrieved from you some days ago. Yes? This second-rate fiddle is not my faithful instrument, Mr. Winterbank. The color of the wood is different. It has holes in it. It's not even the same size.
A wonderful summary of our observations, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm so very sorry, sir. How utterly unforgivable of me. An inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There was only one way to make amends. I shall have to take my own life. I feel like that's a bit extreme. I don't think that would be necessary, do you? If I must just say one thing before I pop off. Yes? It was you, sir, Mr. Sholmes, who took it upon himself to remove the item the other day, I believe. Sorry? As I recall, I entered the storeroom to fetch your violin when I heard... Ah, here it is. You did? And when I tried to controvert you, you had taken the viola and left, sir. However, there can be no doubt that the blame lies firmly at my own door for allowing you to leave. And so I shall not grumble or grouse any longer. May this guilt die with me. No, stop, my dear fellow, the fault is mine!
Phew. It would appear that the fight is over.
do humbly apologize, Mr. Winterbank. Evidently, my questionable and precipitated this tragedy. Well, you wouldn't be Mr. Herlock Sholmes without that questionable disposition, now would you? I do believe you may be right, sir. It's either laugh or cry, I suppose. You are, it must be said, one of my more challenging customers. I need to remind you of the peculiar collection of items you brought through my door in the past. Oh? Peculiar items? In the extreme, ma'am. For example, the unpublished manuscript of an eponymous work, the novels of Herlock Sholmes and such. Oh my! A new fully fleshed novel? An unpublished? A story I have yet to read, you mean? Arg, forgive me! Wait, before you die, you must tell me more! Guy, can you put the gun away? I must know more! Tell me everything! Wow, Susato-san is really fired up now. Is there really an unpublished story under this very roof? Well, one day the gentleman brought in an old metal chest, you see. I should like to entrust this to your care for a while, Mr. Winterbank. For a chest like that, 1 shilling, sir, not a farthing more. It houses something of very great value indeed. The latest manuscript, recounting the adventures of one Mr. Herlock Sholmes. I beg your pardon, a manuscript? You wish to deposit a manuscript? Indeed I do, for I am confident it will be safe here. And that was that. As such, Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom. Mr. Sholmes, is that really true? I sense that someone doesn't want to talk about this. I continue to pay your fee, do I not? Then kindly continue to store my belongings securely. Of course, sir, of course. They're safe and sound with me, I assure you. On my life. This is all very strange. Now then, Mr. Sholmes, allow me to return your precious violin. Ah, the very thing. Thank you, Mr. Winterbank. Perhaps this might mark the end of the peculiar items you try to pop, Because if anything were to happen to one of them, this would be the only answer. I really think you ought to stop waving that gun around. Someone could get hurt. Fear not. Sorry. I've only loaded a single bullet, so no one but myself could possibly be harmed. That's not really what I meant. And that's also not how that works. Good day to you then, Mr. Winterbank. It's been a pleasure as always, Mr. Sholmes.
So, Mr. Naruto, now we can explore at last.
Well, I guess we can look at this.
Look at this! Look at this lovely big shiny box bee.
That, my dear madam, is a music box. Surely you have such things in your own country.
Oh my, yes, but I've certainly never seen one so large before.
Shall we listen a while?
Oh, what sublime sound! It's like the music of angels.
I've never heard anything like it before in my life. This particular specimen is of the larger variety, commonly found in public houses and restaurants. There's a metal disc inside which on which the notes to be played are recorded. Simply by replacing the disc with another, any music you care to imagine can be played.
My goodness! What a simply delightful machine!
Indeed, though their popularity has waned recently with the development of the gramophone, of course.
Science and technology advance at such an overwhelming pace.
I mean, the gramophone's probably not, like, very easy to come by commercially, though, right?
What an assortment of things there are on these shelves here. Crockery, footwear, clocks and watches. Almost anything you can imagine. You care to imagine?
Those are forfeited items offered for sale by the pawnbroker. What's that really mean, though? When you pawn or colloquially pop an item, the broker loans you money against its worth. He stores the item for an agreed period of time, after which the loan must be repaid. If not, he is free to display it in his shop for sale at a price of his choosing. Yes, now you've explained it. I'm noticing little price tags on everything. So I think they do have to, like, sell stuff at a certain, at fair market value. Of course, simply by paying the agreed interest on the loan, one can extend the period of safekeeping. So you may pawn that black garb of yours without fear, my dear fellow. My treasured uniform? Never. It embodies my student spirit. Why does everyone want me to sell the clothes that I'm currently wearing? Also, this guy was gonna give him him 1 shilling for bots made entirely for what was literally a lot bots made entirely of metal, which would be heat resistant and which would be highly resistant to being destroyed or whatever. What's this?
I wonder what this rather enormous machine does.
It seems to have 2 little windows for looking through. Allow me to enlighten you, my dear fellows. What you are looking at is a stereoscope.
A stereoscope? Fascinating.
It is aptly named, I assure you. Look through the eyepieces and see for yourself.
Oh, I should be delighted to. Excuse me a moment while I just have a look.
Just before you do, there's something I should point out. My dear fellows, in order to see the image properly, stereoscopically as it were, you will need to be cross-eyed. However, that is beyond you. It is of little consequence today.
Alright then, I'm going to try it. Ah! Mr. Naruhodo, you must see! At once!
Alright then. So I need to be cross-eyed, I'm trying to look at my own things. What the? I don't believe it. It's just a photographic print, but it seems like you could reach out and touch it. Yes, the sense of depth is startling, is it not? Stereoscopes are one of London's many fads. They're often found in little stalls in the park. People queue there for hours to see them.
Why? Why are people meddling with such black magic?
It is no magic, my dear madam. It is, well, it's the lenses. And it's how the lenses are made, basically. Far too complicated to explain at present. We shall save this lesson for another day.
Oh. Look at this. Whatever could it be used for?
I have no idea.
Ah. There's a small catch just here. Look.
We're going to open it, aren't we?
my, that's amazing. It has some sort of spring-loaded mechanism.
Which will never manage to put it back the way it was before. Hmm? What are you two doing? What? Us? Nothing. No, nothing at all. Whatever this device is, it seems to have a pair of little windows to look through. I feel so I've seen something rather similar to this elsewhere. So it's like a smaller stereoscope? That's not a calendar you could easily miss, is it? 15th April, today's date. Yes, that's up for sale, I must point out. It is an Eastern style Asia Day calendar. Every night at midnight I tear off the front page to reveal the following day's date. The perfect calendar for tearaway fellows such as yourself, Mr. Winterbank. Who was it who walked out of here with the wrong violin before? Well, the agreed upon source period has passed without repayment. The articles are forfeited, you see. So I have to keep a close eye on the date. It's something of a pawnbroker's obsession, you might say.
Oh yes, I can see you're very dedicated to your job.
What? Only 2p for it? Hey, pal, you know it. This article.
What? Only 2p for it?
Oh, that's the other lady. Oh, I tried to bring up history. Whoops. Well, that fan, you know it. The article is barely worth a penny, miss. I cannot offer more.
Come on, that can't be right. Have you ever had a proper butcher's at it?
I've seen all I need to see, young girl. Yeah, it's her. Wait, don't we know? I'm sure I recognize her. We do know her. She was from the trial with Magnus McGilded, but I forgot what her name was. Gina Lestrade. I don't remember her first name anyway.
Oh yes, it's the young lady from Mr. McGilded's trial 2 months ago.
I think it was Gina. Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. Oh yeah, it was Gina. Wow. She's a chancer. Runs across among large crowds, really giving people their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket.
Gordon Bennett! You lot! Hello, Miss Lestrade. I hope you've been well. What? You don't remember the name, do you?
Well, I remember being completely surrounded by smoke, that's for sure.
So, what are you doing in here? Down and out like the rest of us? Nothing to eat? Gonna pop that black weasel, sorry, coat, yeah, Abby?
What is about a black uniform that makes people comment on it? Also, the uniform's not even black, it's literally the same color as her jacket. Ah, good day. Unless I'm much mistaken, you will be the young pickpocket who stole our experimental smoke grenade launcher.
Ah, Mr. Jones!
So, have you something of value to pawn, do you? Allow me to see the article and I shall negotiate with Mr. Winterbeck on your behalf.
Well, the other one, I only know it was some stuck-up D. Get out of my business! Go on, I'll make trouble for you!
As you wish, Miss Lestrade. I will happily remove myself from your presence. He's really done it. He's gone. I'm sorry, but as I said, there really is no room for negotiation here. What's that he has in his hand? Some kind of metal disc? Oh, it's a song for the sonograph machine.
Hey you! Go on! Leave me alone! Almost last trade. Let's pretend we aren't here. Just pretend we aren't here. We can't be offended in the slightest. Sato-san can really stand her ground when she wants to. Whatever. So, I didn't really think you were the person who'd use a pawnbroker in this last trade. Yeah, well, I am, mate. I'm a Londoner just like everyone else. The problem is it. No, just that, well... Oh, I get it! I know what you're thinking! The tickle probably don't even belong to her! Probably got it on the dive, didn't she? Yeah, I can see it written all over your every case! Well, I might have been thinking something along those lines. You're not going to deny it, Mr. Naruhodo? Alright, then I'm just gonna come out and ask you straight. You pawn things that you steal from other people? Well, I don't know the best answer that, really. Suppose, sometimes. You're not going to deny it either, Miss Lestrade? But not this time, I swear! That thing belongs to me! Just that Mr. Winterbank is holding. Perhaps we should see what he has to say about all this. Just been in here before, of course, this little tatterdemalion. I see. And bought some dubious article out there with every single time I've had. Dubious? What are you trying to say? I'm an August customer, mate. So is there something dubious about this she brought in today? Well, boy, but simple. Sorry? What do you mean? What she actually wanted was a storage ticket. Ah, a storage ticket. So... Miss Lestrade has actually come to redeem an article from you today, is that right? Yeah, that's right. Go at me as a little stop what needs storing. Alright, yes, that's definitely dubious. The article in question would have been forfeited at midnight tonight, but as she gave me the ticket for it and repaid both the loan and interest, I was obliged to return the article to her. But what was the article? Do tell us, Mr. Winderman. The scam is wearing it, ma'am. The coat? It's the overcoat that she redeemed. Oh. What? What's wrong with that? If he stole it, I mean, it's mine, so of course it does. So what about the disc then? How does that come into all of this? Ah, the disc is something else. A new article's a pawn. If the girl and I can agree to a price. Let's talk about the disc. Mr. Winterbank, what exactly is this metal disc that Miss Lestrade has brought in? It seems to have hundreds of little tiny bumps on its surface. It's for the music bots. It's for our music bots, right? Ah, this is a music disc, you see. For use inside of music bots. Music bots? What? You don't even know what a music box is? You ain't so like too savvy, eh? I know what a music box is, I've just never seen one of these discs before. Small protrusions on the middle disc encode the tune to be played by the music box. You simply insert the disc and set the machine going, and beautiful music plays. It's so incredible! Tell us, what tune is on the disc? Well, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that. There's so many different types of music bots, you see. British-made, German, Swiss. I have no way of knowing which particular machine this disc was made for. Ah, I see. Oh, that makes sense. If the machine is of the wrong size, then it wouldn't be able to play the disc. Or if it was just the wrong machine entirely, then it probably wouldn't be able to play the disc. And that's it in a nutshell. I wouldn't have any customers for an item like this, even if the young lady forfeited. Really, I'm offering more than I should at a penny. That's a pack of lies. He told me he did. He said it was, well...
He? Who?
Never you mind. It just ain't right, that's all. It just wants good money. I know it is.
Well, then you ought to try your luck at another pawnbroker's, won't you?
Ah.
Okay, then it must be for this particular No, it would have to be for this particular music box if he sent you to this particular if you were sent to this particular pawnbroker. I'm confused. I thought you said that Miss Lester brought in a storage ticket today. That's really quite simple. Yes, the child brought me a storage ticket and the money owed on it, as you say. For this heavy black coat, she returned to her care, as I'd understood, even though it's that is I can even see this on OBS on my other monitor. That is absolutely brown. Like, it's not that color brown, but it's like a wooden, like a dark oak, like the same color as this, basically, but this is just a little bit more brightly lit, like the wood on this little chest thing. That's right, yes, and rather unsurprisingly, as soon as this little ragamuffin put the thing on, she went right one through the pockets. Oh, you mean...
What? Don't you know it's rude to say, lady? Ah, I see. So it came from the pocket of the overcoat, did it?
Then yes, exactly, ma'am.
And she immediately tried to pawn it.
For quite a high price as well. This is all rather suspicious, I think.
Give it up! I'm just trying to pawn something like anyone else would. Miss Lestrade, may I ask who deposited the overcoat here in the first place? Well, me...
It doesn't really appear to be your size.
Me old man! It's me old man's, ain't it?
Is it, Miss Lestrade? Old man meaning her father. Yes, this is definitely all rather suspicious. Out of my way, please! Out of my way, please. Who's this postcarding English gentleman? Good day to you, ladies, gentlemen.
What's your problem, eh?
There is no problem, as long as you remove yourself. I have a matter to discuss with the proprietor. If you intend to make a problem of it, I shall see you outside, little girl, for the hiding you deserve.
Look, ain't it obvious? I ain't done talking with him yet. If you think you're such a chick, you should know I'll wait in line.
Well, you are an impudent little brat, aren't you? As well as a pickpocket.
Eh? Who are you? How do you know who I am?
The question is, how do you not know who I am? You haven't the courtesy to even remember the faces of your victims, it seems.
What? You mean from you?
Broker. Yes, sir. I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you now. Yes, the article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once.
Oh my! No, that's a lie. What are you trying to pull?
Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel. Needless to say. Any music box discs too.
No, you can't have it. You just can't. It's me old man's, or it was. Now it's mine.
Goodness, Mr. Naruto. This is a very awkward situation. Yes. I think perhaps we should hear both sides of the story in a little more detail.
This last trade is what the gentleman is saying. What do you think? It's all lies, ain't it? Obviously. I swear on my life, I ain't never laid eyes on that dandy before.
He knows a lot more than he should, if that's the case. Let's hear it now, you little ragamuffin. You stole it, didn't you? That ticket you brought in here just now.
No, I swear to God.
It was barely an hour ago. I was walking along the street, minding my own business. And this little gutterling ran into me. I knew at once what had happened. I've been robbed yet again, I thought to myself. Those wretched pickpockets. Yet again? Oh yes, as you can see, I'm a man of impeccable style. This is the first time that I've been targeted by these back slum scoundrels. I thought he was going to say black-hearted. Now then, relinquish my overcoat. Come on now, Miss Lestrade. Give the good gentleman his coat back. If he cause trouble, I shall have no choice but to call the police.
Hold on, why does everyone think it's me? Just look at this dirty coal. And you think I'm the dotty one?
I'm sorry, but no one's going to believe you.
Well, what about evidence? Yay! Where's your evidence that I've stolen something, eh? Come on, let's see it!
Oh, I have evidence, naturally.
You what?
Well, hold on. Can I examine the other guy and hear his side of the story? Excuse me, but who are you? One would expect the inquirer to introduce himself first. Oh, clearly you are not British, so perhaps our ways are foreign. Oh, sorry. Yes, we're from the Empire of Japan. We're studying here. Oh yes, Japan. I've heard talk of the place. Its inhabitants live on some fiery brown-colored soup dressed up with exotic spices. You might be thinking of somewhere else. And what was that theatrical gesticulation about? Perhaps. Anyway, if you are a gentleman, sir, you offer your own name first before inquiring after the name of another. Of course, yes. I'm Ryonosuke Naruhodo. I'm a lawyer. Well, student of law, really.
My name is Susato Mikotoba, Mr. Naruhodo's assistant.
I see. My name is Benedict. Yes. Eggert Benedict. Encante. He's so refined in how he holds himself and how he speaks, but the name is suspicious. Now then, to the matter at hand. My overcoat. Return it at once to someone with the style to carry it off.
Every boy mates, every brother takes. I can't stand watching him.
Intelligently over the shop. There's still so many things I'm curious about. I don't believe this is the time for browsing, Mr. Naruhodo. So I see whether the argument's been resolved yet, I suppose. Okay, yeah. Alright. Now let's talk evidence. Evidence that the article Miss Lestrade redeemed actually belongs to this gentleman.
Of course! We need only consult Mr. Loindebank's ledger to know the truth. We'll be able to look up the name of the person who deposited the article in the first place. Yes, brilliant.
I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid that won't be possible.
Oh?
I never ask customers' names. That's a strict policy of mine. That's a really, really bad policy. But why not? Well, now, as you can imagine, some of my customers have circumstances to consider. Many of them prefer to maintain their anonymity.
Yes, I see. But then how can you know if an article belongs to the person asking to redeem it?
Oh, it's quite simple. Good sir, might I trouble you for the watchword associated with the article in question?
Of course, it's... Professor.
Yes, that's right. And all the evidence we need. This gentleman is the rightful owner of the article, without a doubt.
A watchword? Interesting.
So, about these watchwords, Mr. Windibank, as I just explained, I never ask customers' names when they deposit items with me. There are many reasons why certain customers would like to keep their activities secret.
What are you doing, Sholmes?
That wasn't exactly a subtle glance at Mr. Sholmes now, was it?
Great detectives have no dark secrets, none at all.
Yes, well, anyway,
That's why I always ask
for a watchword whenever I accept a new article. In many ways, it's like the secret combination of numbers used to unlock a vault. With a data deposit, a description, and a watchword uniquely identify each item. And of course, I give the storage ticket to the customer. When someone comes to redeem something, I ask for the ticket and the watchword. And if that someone tells you the correct watchword, you return the article? That's right, sir. Yes, just as soon as the fee is paid. And I have supplied you with the information you require already, but for the avoidance of doubt, the article in question is an overcoat deposited 2 months ago on the 15th of February. With the watchword of Professor. All perfectly correct information, sir. Are you sure it's not just a different overcoat?
But, wow!
Really, this is beyond the joke now. There's no further room for doubt. So, let that be an end to the matter. And thank you for your custom, Mr. Egbert Benedict, sir. With such reasonable rates of interest, I may even decide to come back.
This is why I hate grown-ups. Just because I'm a tyrant, everyone thinks that makes me a liar.
And the contents of the coat pockets, if you please, broker. But of course, sir, here's the disc for you. Just this one. Pardon, sir? I was expecting another. Yes, I deposited another. Another disc? Oh dear. I forgot to inform you, sir, that what was deposited with me was merely the overcoat. The disc happened to be in one of the pockets, but I was completely unaware of it until now. So, Gatling, you're hiding more of what's rightfully mine, are you?
Says that way! I don't know nothing about it!
Very well. And I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style.
Wait a minute! That disc is mine!
What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal.
Oh my! Yes! There's blood on the disc!
It's because of all those sharp little bumps. The man must have scratched his finger on them.
I found it first, alright? I mean, it belonged to me old man. So you're not having it. Or you take it.
Me?
If I ain't gonna do it, then I'm me off again. So you keep hold of it.
It's not straight eight. Why is this disc so important to her? This piece of... The music box disc has been entered into the court record. I guess we're going along with this. You there, in the black livery.
protrusions, blood. Look at all the little bumps on the disc. They're so tiny. Yes, the protrusions are called pins. They plug the teeth of the comb to make notes. And just on the edge, there's a small amount of blood. Yes, the blood of the mysterious Mr. Egbert Benedict. When Miss Lestrange tried to grab the disc from him, the pin scratched his fingers, it seems. Like when you're grating some daikon radish and accidentally catch your finger. Ouch, just thinking about it hurts. That must be off eating radish. What? Huh? What does this say? For Gilded? Oh, there's a little scrap of paper stuck on the reverse side of the disc, too. And scribbled a word or two. It looks like somebody's name. For McGilded? McGilded? It couldn't be. But it is Mr. Naruhodo. A name I shall never forget for as long as I live. But why? Why is his name on this? Music Mod's disc's information has been updated in the court record. For McGilded, the surname of a man whose innocence you secured in the trial 2 months ago, Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah, a trial I'll never forget. Not the least because of the tragic accident that followed in which McGilded was killed. I mean, it wasn't really an accident. The cart was set on fire with him inside of it. But why would his name be on this music box disc? I'm afraid I have absolutely no idea. But one thing seems certain. This surely cannot be a simple coincidence. You there, in the black livery. Hand that disc to me at once, please. No! No! He's lying! God, that's all liars! What do I do now? What am I going to resolve this? Bye! It doesn't let me just leave. Well, it does let me leave, but it doesn't resolve the situation. Mr. Winterbank is clearly at a loss here. I need to do something about this before he reaches for that revolver of his. Wow, Miss Lester is really looking daggers at me. She was do something to calm this down before she could lose his control on his handsome again. With those piercing eyes, he's clearly in no mood at all. I have to do something quickly before Mr. Stone needs to ask the police or something. Mr. Windermere, I think Dylan is only over a shop. There's just so many things I'm curious about. Sometimes I really feel like this is our time to be browsing. Calming this fraught situation must be our top priority, and I'm fairly certain that we can find just the right thing we need among the articles here in this shop. Sholmes? Mr. Sholmes? What are you examining with such keen interest there? You do enjoy a bar of caramel, I see. So, you found me at last, Mr. Naruhodo. You never left, what? Sorry? After that young pickpocket sent me on my way, I was forced to lurk in the shadows. Cruelly ostracized, as the rest of you partook in the jovial atmosphere of fellowship. I had nothing to occupy my mind, but was too ashamed to let society see what my downfall had done to me. So feigning mock interest, I pretended to examine the tedious trinkets in this desolate place. Most as you should really observe, knowing on the only friend I have left, the 7% solution of caramel. Pray, do you claim to understand the depths of my despair, Mr. Naruhodo? But how could you?
I was so lonely, so desperately lonely. Then why on earth didn't you rejoin the conversation? Things have gone from bad to worse here, you know. Yes, I overheard much of your conversation. Or rather, in my human content, my ears devoured every word that was uttered. You really were sad, weren't you? Poor Mr. Sholmes, I simply feel awful for you. It would seem that my inferences are correct. Oh, surely you're not about to tell us you've solved the entire case once again? My dear madam, sometimes I wonder, wasn't my genius for deduction to be commoditized? How much could I pawn it for? So Mr. Sholmes had another one of his flashes of inspiration. Who knows if it will help to resolve the situation between Miss Lestrade and this mysterious gentleman? What's the right thing to do here? Let's listen to the deduction, I guess. Oh, Miss Lestrade, it would appear you find yourself in something of a predicament.
Where the blue blazes are you, Benny?
Pardon?
When a lady's in trouble, a tutor's supposed to be there to help. Straight away, not an hour later.
Harsh. And who, pray tell, are you? And who, pray tell, are you? Mr. Egbert Benedict? You have, in my eyes, a veritably encyclopedic array of curiosities about your person. Nevertheless, there are two immovable conclusions I have drawn. I beg your pardon. The first is this. The true reason for your visit to this pawn brokery today is something you have not yet revealed. And the second is this. Considerable crimes in contemplation. One you will orchestrate with the intent to steal a vast sum of money. Well, Mr. Benedict, what say you to my deductions? How? These are white as a hard-boiled egg.
It would seem that once again, Mr. Sholmes has made a flawless deduction.
Just who do you think you are, sir? Ah, yes, as I had hoped. Not as precisely the paint expression that I was looking for. So, shall we begin? The time has come for yet another Herlock Sholmes's logic and reasoning spectacular. The great deduction. The game is afoot. Conclusion: Mystery Man's aim. First of all, we must ask ourselves, on what business have you ventured to this pawnbrokery today? You claim to have followed this pickpocket here, having had the redemption ticket stolen from you on the street. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. What is this piece of paper in his hand? As revealed by that which you hold in your hand. Yes, what brought you to this shop in the first place is a staff recruitment flyer. It's an advertisement, isn't it? The piece of paper you hold in your hand is a staff wanted advertisement from this very shop. Even those unobservant would soon realize that a man of your appearance has no need for such employ. In other words, there's some ulterior motive for your actions. AG. He said, like, Egbert Benedict, right? So who is AG? That cane which you unwittingly close to your person is an incontrovertible contradiction. What's utter rot? I've had this cane for years. Oh yeah, the contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the missing ferrule. Are you serious? It highlighted the AG and was like, no, it's the bottom. The end of an able walking cane would be terminated with a metal ferrule to protect the wooden tip. And yet, a detailed analysis shows the wooden tip of this stick to be utterly bare. Therefore, there is only one conclusion. The rod you hold in your hand, which appears to be a walking cane, is in fact no cane at all. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? And in your recoiling, you inadvertently facilitate the answer of the next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. From the moment I saw it, my suspicions were aroused. What walking cane demands such a stout handle, I mused. But of course, as I said, this is no walking cane. No, that rod is the broken handle of a shovel. What? Are you insane? Now, having determined this undeniable truth, the conclusion is clear. Your true motive for coming here was to take employment at this establishment in order to excavate the ground beneath the premises. What a calculated crime you have conceived, sir. A wickedly calculated crime. Topic 1. To tunnel underneath the pawnbrokery. What? The Great Crime. Now, Mr. Bennett, let us continue. From whence expose the details of this elaborate crime you have in the planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, intend to excavate the ground beneath this pawnbrokery with a broken shovel. What on earth do you propose I could expect to find there? Some long-forgotten treasure, I suppose? Save such fanciful theory. For what possible reason could I have to do as you say? Oh, but there is ample reason. As you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. He looked. And your furtive glance is even more telling than I could have hoped. What? Let us consider what would motivate a man to infiltrate a shop such as this and covertly dig beneath its floors. The answer is revealed by the council notice on the counter to which your eyes are inadvertently drawn. Are you sure it's not this other thing right here? This letter gives notice of public works to be carried out in the local area. And according to the enclosed plan of the upcoming sewerage works, beneath this shop runs a sewer that adjoins another, one that runs under the west bank on the opposite side of the road. This madness has entered the sewers now, has it? By excavating the ground beneath our feet, you would gain access to the waterway that flows in very close proximity to the great vault of the financial institution opposite. What are you? In summary, sir, you devised a master plan to pull off an elaborate bank robbery by dint of the underground tunnels. Master plan? Which brings us at last to the final chapter of this lurid scheme. With what plunder did the thief hope to make off from the underground vault of the bank? Are you quite serious? Having consulted with Scotland Yard some days ago, I happen to know the answer. But naturally, the secret is... So it's no secret to you, is it, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture of a postcard tells us all we need to know. A postcard of the Great Exhibition? I'm afraid you've quite lost me. Currently in the final stages of preparation of the Great Exhibition. Excuse me, will soon be underway. And the government has provided extra funds to complete its centerpiece, the Crystal Tower. Funds that currently sit in the vault of the bank on the other side of the road. Pardon? Yes, the considerable crime which you've been contemplating is the theft of that which sits in the vault of that bank, the special reserve funds for the Great Exhibition. Of course, that is top secret police information, so keep it under your hat, please. This concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this pawnbrokering puzzle. Mr. Sholmes? Well, Mr. Naruhodo, an impressively upbeat deduction for a detective rat with loneliness, would you not agree? Was it true what you said about the banker for the road and what it has in its vault? Indeed, though few know of his existence, and it is one of the government's most closely guarded secrets. Gregson told me in the strictest confidence. But you just announced it to everyone here, rather loudly in fact. I mean, there's only 5 people here, right? Ah. And if it's such a big secret, how would Mr. Benedict have come to find out about it? There can be but one explanation for that. Clearly it is because the man is a criminal. But what if he didn't know anything about the money in the vault? If he is a criminal, like as you said, then buying a brand new shovel is sure to be the first thing he does now that you've revealed the secret. Ew. Or if he doesn't, maybe Mr. Winterbank. Well, he has plenty of shovels here, after all. Oh my life, I assure you I'm not so unscrupulous. Well, hopefully this has taught you a valuable lesson. Sensitive information must be handled with the utmost care. One can never be sure that someone privy to secrets will disclose them. And once the word is out, it's out. Perhaps I'll think twice before confiding in you next time, Mr. Sholmes. Excellent idea, Mr. Naruto. An excellent idea. Well then, Mr. Naruto, you know what to do, I'm sure. Yes, let's listen to that great deduction again and see if we can massage it into shape. Very well then, let's start once more from the beginning. Of Sherlock Holmes' magnificent logic and reasoning spectacular. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. First of all, we must ask ourselves on what business you have ventured into this pawnbrokery today. You couldn't have followed this pickpocket here, having had the redemption ticket stolen from you on the street. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. As revealed by that which you hold in your hand. Yes, what brought you to this shop in the first place is the recruitment staff flyer. So... Oh, Mr. Sholmes' reasoning. By Mr. Sholmes' reasoning, Mr. Benedict came here in order to apply for a job so he could dig down through the floor. Yes, in an attempt to tunnel into the sewers to gain access to the money of the vault, in the vault of the bank across the road. But he wouldn't get very far with a broken shovel, would he? No, I think it's fair to say his motives lie elsewhere. The question is, where? What did bring Mr. Benedict here at this particular point in time? Aha! Scribbled writing. Oh! Look at all the scribbled notes on the back of the flyer here! I don't believe it! What is it? Listen to what it says! Name Gino Lestrade, height 5'2", green cap, scruffy waistcoat, grubby white shirt, blue satchel, red. It's a detailed description of Miss Lestrade. Goodness! There's even a sketch of her hat and all. Although if he showed it to her, she'd fire that smoke grenade launcher in his face for sure.
And look, the details of the shop have been written down here too. Winterbank's Pawnbrokery, Baker Street, redemption deadline 15th April, which is today's date. Oh, Mr. Benedict have all that information scrawled on the back of that piece of paper.
Take that!
Yes, what brought you into this shop in the first place is the info about Miss Lestrade. Quite so, my dear fellow. It would appear that the writing and sketch on the reverse of the flyer pertain to the pickpocket Miss Lestrade and to Mr. Winterbate's pawnbrokery here. You originally told us that you had merely given chase to Miss Lestrade after Miss Lestrade stole the redemption ticket from you. But that, sir, is a thinly veiled lie. It is the information on the back of the flyer that led you here today, by which I mean here to Winterbank's pawnbrokery, and today the redemption deadline of that overcoat. So you waited outside for the young girl match in the description you have written down to arrive. And you have gone to some lengths to hide the reason for your pursuit of Miss Lestrade. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane, which you unwittingly ditched your person, exhibits an incontrovertible conclusion. What other rot? I've had this cane for years. The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the missing ferrule. What's a ferrule? It's the metal cap commonly found at the end of a cane, Mr. Naruhodo. The bit that makes the nice clacking sound on the pavement? Yes, exactly. And Mr. Solz is right, it appears to be missing on this cane. It doesn't actually look broken, does it? No, it doesn't, though the gentleman certainly did recoil when Mr. Solz identified the cane as suspicious. In other words, there's some secret about the cane that Mr. Benedict would rather we didn't know. Look here, Mr. Sato. There's some letters on the handle. There's some letters on the handle. Yes, those must be initials, I think. In the West, it's customary for people to engrave their belongings with the first letters of their names. So Herlock Jones would be HS, you mean? Herlock Jones. That's right! And the initials on this cane, obviously... Oh! AG? Why does it feel as though that's not quite right?
Take that!
they spotlighted that. The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the initial link. A most astute observation, wouldn't you say, Mr. Egbert Benedict? We are led to believe, sir, that your initials are EB. Yet in a most possessive manner, you have it in your grasp a cane bearing the initials AG. An incontrovertible contradiction indeed, would you not agree? No, you're wrong. This cane isn't... You said before that you'd had that cane for years. Grr. So don't try to tell us that you just borrowed it from a friend or found it in the park. In short, though you hold yourself to be a gentleman, you have withheld your true name. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? And in your recoiling, you inadvertently facilitate the answer of the next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle which you evidently would like to... conceals the heat zone. Let's consider the bare bones of what's happened here. Miss Lestrade redeemed that fine-looking overcoat. A mysterious man has appeared, introducing himself with a fake name and claiming that the overcoat belongs to him.
But we know that he actually identified Miss Lestrade from a written description, which suggests that everything else he's told us is untrue.
What we need to do here is somehow prove that the overcoat cannot possibly belong to him. A rip!
Oh, the seam on the shoulder there is coming apart. Look!
So it is.
Do you know a moment ago when Mr. Benedict was surprised by something that was said? I thought I heard him make a rather strange sound. It sounded like a tiny growl. But now I think it was probably the sound of the seam ripping open.
If you look closely, it does seem to be a very tight fit. The sleeves are stretched to burst, and you wouldn't have a hope of fastening it at the front. If you were to run around in it, I'm sure the whole thing would fall apart.
That I'd like to see.
Sorry?
So how come we get Mr. Benedict to run around?
She's really giving this some thought. Time to present!
Take that!
The split seam, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. Ah! Yes, because that overcoat is rather obviously a poor fit. Having forced it over your broad shoulders, the seam is already breaking apart. My suspicions were aroused from the outset. When you so boldly lied about your name and so boldly waylaid this pickpocket, this catalog of untruths has all been for one very specific purpose. To seal the article that the young girl redeemed from Mr. Windibank. But what really hurts me is this. The considerable crime I initially imagined has been considerably curtailed. To abscond with a redeemed item. Solved. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. What must I suppose the details of this elaborate crime you have been planning? This is utterly absurd! You suggest that I, a gentleman designed to wheeze to fill some tawdry article of pawnage? Have you forgotten that I redeemed the article in the proper manner using the watchword? Had I not been the one to deposit it in the first place, how could I possibly know the relevant details? N'est-ce pas? Oh, but the watchword can be discovered. As you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. Ah, and your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped. What? Let us consider how one might come to learn a secret watchword relating to the pawn property of another. The method is... This counts. It's the ledger, right? The ledger up here.
The direction of the deduction must change rather dramatically. Only now I think...
Yeah, no more talk of tunneling into the sewers. Which is a pity, because it all sounded rather exciting. Anyway, you can't deny that this mysterious gentleman did know the watchword.
Yes, Professor. If you didn't know that watchword, Mr. Windibank would never allow you to redeem the article.
Or looking at it another way, if you did know that word, Mr. Windibank would allow you to redeem the article whether it was yours or not. So the question is, could this gentleman have found the watchword out somehow? Notelet. Look at this, Mrs. Otto.
Ah, it appears to be a memo that Mr. Windibank has scribbled to himself.
Let's see, what does it say?
Oh, Professor!
Mr. Windibank must make a note of the watchwords his customers give him right before their eyes. And in an alarmingly clear script as well.
Oh dear, I don't know where to look. Who knows what other secrets I might see?
Well, then it's the notelet.
Take that!
The method is revealed by the notelet on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. Yes, the broker here follows the same procedure whenever a customer comes to redeem an article. He asks the customer for the watchword and notes down the response uttered on a notelet he has to hand. Then he consults his ledger and confirms whether or not the watchword matches that of the article in question. I would expect nothing less of a diligent pawnbroker, but his diligence clearly has its disadvantages. What are you talking about? It is increasingly apparent that you were present in this shop before your accusation against Miss Lestrade. In all likelihood, you followed her inside and then observed her talking to Mr. Windibank. When the diligent broker made note of the watchword, as is his common practice, you observed him writing the word professor on the note beside the ledger. And that, sir, was the master plan you designed to steal the pawned article from the young Miss Lestrade. Master plan! Which brings us at last to the final chapter of this lurid scheme. Why would you go to such lengths to redeem that particular article from this pawnbroker? Are you quite serious? For an ill-fitted overcoat hardly seems to justify the effort, much less a worthless music box disc. But naturally, you had very good reason to make them yours, didn't you, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. Can I present it? You see, this picture on the postcard tells us all we need to know. The articles we're talking about are the overcoat and the music box disc that was in one of the pockets, which according to Mr. Windibank isn't even worth a penny. And yet this man went to such lengths to steal them. Why? I wonder if perhaps we already have the evidence we need to explain it, Mr. Naruhodo. Could we? Really? We better throw a look at all the evidence we've collected so far. The one piece of evidence. Form gilded.
Take that!
See, this music box just tells us all we need to know. What's that? On the back. What's that? On the back. It reads, Form gilded. Ugh! Ah, Mr. Magnus McGilded. The unfortunate philanthropist who perished in curious circumstances at the Old Bailey 2 months ago. A prominent man in London, though his loan-mongering demonstrated a distinct lack of scruples. So, you're an associate of his, are you? Or perhaps a subordinate? Mr. McGilded was a man of unusually small stature. In fact, he was precisely the right size for that overcoat you've squeezed yourself into. Ugh! Your true identity remains shrouded in mystery, Mr. Benedict. But the final conclusion here is crystal clear. The reason you came to this pawnbrokery today was to retrieve an article left behind by the late Magnus McGilded. Ugh! Acquire an item deposited by Mr. McGilded. Solved. Deduction complete. Elementary. Well, well, Mr. Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear in these circumstances.
Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid there's something very troubling on my mind.
Pray tell, Mr. Sato.
Well, according to what Mr. Winterbank has told us earlier, today was the final day on which the coat could have been redeemed, was it not?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct. Today would be precisely 2 months since it was first deposited.
Well, today is the 15th of April, so 2 months ago today.
Would have been the 15th of February, sir. That's right. It's all carefully recorded in my ledger. Deposited at 10:30 p.m., I see.
What? But that's just... Yes, 15th of February. That was after McGilda died, right?
It's precisely the day on which the omnibus murder took place.
Oh, no, okay, there was that one.
And 10:30 in the evening
is precisely the time at which the terrible events were unfolding.
Okay, that was Susato. Suggestive is not the word. It would seem rather the matter is entirely beyond coincidence. You are, of course, at liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose, however. I must insist you hand over the music box disc now. It would be a terrible shame for you to return to your native land in a box.
What do I do?
It's only got one bullet, right?
There's some things a man must protect at all costs. This may well be one of those things. Then again, may not.
Hold it!
Mr. Winterbank! This is my shop. I can't allow any harm to come to my customers. If that were to happen, I should have to take my own life!
What?
Mr. Winterbank, no! Alright, that's enough. Alright, that's enough.
Inspector Gregson!
Inspector? That's right, Sunshine. The alarm was raised on one of our dedicated emergency lines. So we got here as fast as we could. Now what's all this about, eh? Oh, praise be, you're here at last. I was moments away from forfeiting my own life in my very own establishment. Didn't you have your guns drawn at the guy who's holding up the shop, essentially? It would seem you have the upper hand. Right, you lot have got some explaining to do, and I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty argy-bargy.
Petty? Mr. Winterbank very nearly met with his end.
Yeah, by his own gun, as far as I can tell. Oh dear. And the whole of Britain can meet its end if I don't get to the bottom of the case I'm supposed to be working on.
What? What on earth is the case, Inspector?
Spare no detail, Gregson. I might have said a little too much. No matter, it's nothing to do with you lot. Anyway, so you're gonna have to come with me down to the station. But of course, Inspector. Ah! He's getting away! Get after him, lads! Whistle the beat, Officer 2! Sir! There's been a spate of thefts at pawn shops around here recently. So we fitted emergency buttons underneath the counters for brokers to let us know when there's trouble. Oh, Inspector, I was very worried there for a while. Oh, Inspector, I was very worried there for a while. Now then, Mr. Permanently in Mourning.
Oh, yes?
I'll be taking whatever it is at McGilden's down to the yard. Whatever it is at McGilden's down to the yard. Thank you very much. So hand it over.
Oh, yes, of course.
No, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is. Mine. It's evidence now. I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to McGilden has to be taken in as evidence now. As evidence? If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. So, we handed Mr. McGilded's disc over to Inspector Gregson, and were summarily turfed out of the shop and onto the street. To be continued. Well, that's gonna be the end of the YouTube video, but we've only been going for about 2 hours, well, 2 hours and 15 minutes on stream. So I will save, and we'll continue with stream, but for YouTube, this is where the video is going to end. So, be right back. Well, so YouTube will see the next part after this one. Excuse me, gets uploaded. Or the day after this one gets uploaded. Or goes live, rather. Bye.